Do officers want to press the issue, get up so close behind him that it encourages even more unsafe activity, which that you don't want to do either, especially when you look at traffic. Look at the flow of traffic here, and you can tell that this person is not going remarkably fast compared to those around. And now it looks like we are about to get onto a freeway. Or did they go onto the freeway? Okay, it's just
under the freeway, didn't they? Okay.
Just another larger road. So they continue on Paramount there. That's the Pico Rivera exit, and they stayed. I thought maybe they might be merging onto the freeway at that point. So maybe if you could just update me, when did this begin? And so we've been on this now for about 20 minutes or so.
Yeah, apparently it began in Upland. I don't know the exact time, but a chase started in Upland. Police tried to pull this guy over for broken taillights.
And look at this move.
Yeah. Jeez.
So somebody was in front of him, couldn't make the left turn, so he went into oncoming traffic and nearly hit a person who was turning left, likely with their own arrow. And now we have gotten on to Telegraph and Loman Avenue now in Whittier. So if you live in the Whittier area and you hear the sirens or see the helicopters above, it's probably due to this chase.
Yeah, you want to stay out of your car, stay indoors. Chase has already been on the 10 freeway in Baldwin Park, and then that's where he was going about 90 miles per hour on the freeway. Then it went south on the 605 freeway and it's been in this general area for a while. Okay, on the right-hand side of the screen, you can see some of these maneuvers that this guy's pulled. Look at going up on the sidewalk, almost hitting that car in the red, going left right in front of him. There's been several little incidents. I think this is where he dumps. Yep, there he threw something out. Try to get it in the back of that pickup. This is when he's hot dogging, taking some video. He's on one cell phone taking video.
Well, they've stopped now on the left, which is the live shot. So if you notice, he's stayed back far enough that he's not going to get pinched in by the van in front of him or somebody behind. But this is, this is when you want, okay, see if you'll see how far police are back from him. See there?
They backed off.
Yeah, they've backed off significantly. This could be, might just be monitoring this from the air at this point, because I think that shot where you showed just now, him hopping up on the sidewalk, is exactly what they're trying to avoid.
Exactly.
You get up too close to somebody that is showing this. And by the way, they may know who it is at this point. If the car's not reported as stolen, if it is
true.
If they know who it is, and they may, with the person with the the phone, they may have already called. So there's a lot of information that authorities have that we don't have that is going to absolutely play a role in what they do regarding the chase.
Yeah, because we did see eight or so black and whites behind him just moments ago. Now you don't see them. Now
we're merging onto the 5. So we'll see where this goes now, because the surface roads, there were a lot of risks, turning against the light, going through going wrong way into traffic. Now he's driving over on the shoulder of the 5 freeway, but unable to get very high rate of speed because of the congestion there. But it looks like he might either get back off the freeway or he's trying to pass somebody on the right. I can't really tell with Air 7 at that
down quite a
tightness.
Bit, or and he threw something out of his. So my imagination is a car kind of doing some funny stuff. Oh, it like
well, he was off on the right shoulder trying to pass somebody in front of him that we just couldn't see because we were real tight on the shot. But see, now he's passing on the right, going around people. He's trying to just get clear of this congestion, it looks like. And we can't see, the folks in the helicopter can see forward, but we can't see what traffic looks like ahead of him. But it looks like that is fairly congested. And now I just can't tell if CHP or anyone is behind him at this point.
Yeah, doesn't, well.
Because they weren't when he was on Paramount.
Right, yeah.
They had pulled back significantly, but they're still following him from the air.
Yeah, maybe they just went into tracking mode, like you said, Philip. They might know who he is.
I'm just trying to see, a lot of times with SkyMap 7, we also have the speed. So we can't really tell the speed, but there it looks like an exiting of the freeway. So now apparently getting off of the freeway, and looks like that might be Danvers. Is that where he has taken off? There's the speed right there in the middle. So you can see it's only about 54 miles an hour and slowing down now because he's on the streets.
So the Paramount Boulevard again? Is that right?
Yeah, it does look like it.
Okay.
It does look like he's back. And so, again, it's interesting that he went to Paramount because that's the one area he was most congested. And again, you're pinched up. And this is this kind of thing that sometimes people will not get out of the way, because if you're just a person, you don't realize a chase is going on and somebody bumps you
He
from
just bumped
behind,
him. Yeah.
you might want to get out of the car and find out what's just happened.
Or you just think he's a jerk, you know, and it's just. But
Well,
that
you're
guy-
certainly going to want to exchange information, but now you've got all these people. And look, right.
Oh boy.
So the person in the red car there is probably very confused as to what's going on, unless they have been able to see authorities behind him, and maybe then they know that it's a chase and just to clear out of the way.
Right.
So again, we're coming up on 1:30. This is special coverage of a chase that has been going on for about a half an hour now. Just watching this chase go along, and it's on Paramount, and no signs of stopping at this point.
Yeah, we know 2 suspects were in the car, initially wanted because he had a broken tail light and refused to pull over. So the chase began, went on the 10 freeway through Baldwin Park. High rates of speed there. Then on the 605 freeway, LA County Sheriff's Department has been behind these suspects in the Downey-Norwalk area for quite some time. They keep going back to this particular area, and especially Paramount Boulevard. He's been on that boulevard quite a few times, and saw him dump a few things out of the car throughout this chase. And also the passenger kind of doing some showboating, waving around, taking videos, pictures, coming up and trying to take a right here, see if he's going to try to slip by these cars. We saw him bump a car out of frustration a little bit earlier. Now, okay, taking a right on to Florence Avenue. Seems to be slowing down a bit, but still in that the Downey-Norwalk area still. Seems to have the street to himself right now. Not a lot of traffic, which is a good thing. Less people at risk, and see what if he continues in this area or tries to get back on a freeway, who knows. Didn't stay on that 5 freeway for very long. Still on Florence Avenue. Seems like as long as other cars aren't on the road, it's relatively safe, his driving. It's only when he gets kind of boxed in at red lights or stop signs that he sort of panics and does these wrong way turns or gets on the wrong side of the road. Again, staying in this Downey-Norwalk area, and perhaps he knows this area. A lot of suspects just travel around, go toward places that they're familiar with. Maybe they want to show off for their friends. Maybe that's why he was taking videos and getting his camera out. Maybe he's looking for a place that he can sneak in and try to get away from authorities and pull into an alleyway that he knows. But obviously familiar with this area because he seems to be sticking around this particular few blocks. Window down. Can't see really what he's doing. Just, the passenger had a couple of cell phones a while ago. All right, swerving around traffic again. This seems to be his go-to maneuver. He sort of gets jammed in and then gets frustrated and just turns in front of other cars if he can. Or deciding to not turn left. All right, turning into some 76 gas station. Maybe he's just trying to cut corners there. Yeah, now he's on Garfield Avenue. Just Still don't see any officers behind him in pursuit of this man. Perhaps they just backed off. Just hopefully he'll drive. Whoa, okay. Took a U-turn, I think, in the middle of the intersection there, going back on Garfield Avenue, back to where the area where he came from. So, oh, okay, pedestrian there talking maybe to that pedestrian. I don't know. No. All right. Trying to wave somebody down, and who knows what he's trying to do there. Can't really tell what that passenger's got something in his hand. Oh, it looks like a cigarette or a joint or something. He's on his phone while he's driving erratically, taking another U-turn. Now turning onto, let's see. Oh, back on Garfield. Okay. Now this is getting pretty predictable, so perhaps this would give officers an opportunity to set a spiked strip, right, if he continues on this same pattern. At least it gives officers an idea of perhaps what intersections they might need to close or how to box this guy in. I going a little bit quicker now than he was before. You can see him passing the traffic. Oh, okay, driving up on the curb there. And on Ira Avenue, Southgate, East Los Angeles area. They must know the helicopters are overhead watching him where he goes, so I don't see any, potential hiding spots for this guy. He is pretty much out in the wide open, and the way he's driving, it's not hard to keep track of him. Again, we think this is a Honda. I don't know any status, if it's a stolen car, vehicle, or anything, but taking another weird left-hand turn as he's been doing from, oh, no, I guess not, just going straight. Seeming a little more agitated, though. He seems there's a lot more movement happening there on the driver's side. And we saw the passenger looking like he's holding a cigarette or a joint or whatever. Maybe they're on drugs. Maybe they want to stay away from officers, afraid to get a DUI when they had that broken tail light. Certainly acting very erratic and quite desperate to get away based on the driving that he's been doing. So in case you're watching our live stream right now on abc7.com, again, thanks for joining us on this Friday afternoon as we follow this pursuit. This is two suspects in this, I believe it's a Honda, and wanted initially for a broken tail light in the Upland area. It's been going on for now, at least 40 minutes or so. We've been on top of this. Going speeds of 90 miles per hour on freeways, on the 10 freeway in the Baldwin Park area, 605 freeway. Now appears to be parked, going into this parking lot. Okay, he's getting out of his car. He's holding on to his shorts. Oh, okay. They are trying to get that other white truck, and don't know why they thought they could get it. It's interesting. But, okay, so that didn't work for them. They're back in their Honda right now, back to the pursuit, turning left onto Clara Street right there. Driving up onto the Circle K, going into that Circle K right there. You see a pedestrian there. Hopefully he's minding that. Going onto Wilcox Avenue there, that tried to make a getaway out of that car. You see the passenger, again, putting his hand out the window. Yes, as you're watching this along with us, it's sort of like one of these things we wait and see what he does next. Definitely been driving erratic and going on the wrong side of the road. Going fast, taking strange turns like he's just doing right now. U-turns in the middle of intersections. But if you're watching this on abc7.com, now's your chance. You can, you want to see it on a larger screen, you can download our new connected apps, which is kind of cool. You can watch this not just on your small computer screen, but you can watch it on Roku, Amazon Fire, Android TV, Apple TV, and all you have to do is search ABC7 Los Angeles. And it's a pretty good deal because you can be at home and you think, well, I want to see a better view of this, or I want to just not have to hold my computer. Just download those free apps. Again, search ABC7 Los Angeles on any of those connected TV apps. Pretty much covered them all: Roku, Amazon Fire, Android TV, and Apple TV. Okay, now making some gestures outside his window. What's he doing there with his? It looks like they have a. I don't know what they're doing there. If they have a map quest, or a. I'm just speculating. Don't listen to me. Your guess is as good as mine. As you watch along with me, you see a lot of. Could be, yeah. That's right. It could be a navigation system. Okay, that was some strange gesturing up to the skies, and they know that this is going to be their last hurrah for a while, because once they're caught, they're not going to be just let go, because this has definitely been a dangerous pursuit as far as just putting people at risk, and the driving. They could have hit multiple pedestrians and different cars, and they bumped someone at least that we know of earlier. So Atlantic, Oh, Bruce Thomas, okay. Oh, great. We have our law enforcement expert, Bruce Thomas. Hey, Bruce, are you there?
Yeah, I am, Ellen. How are you?
Hi. It's really nice for you to call us in on this Friday afternoon, and we have to stop meeting like this. The only time we get to talk is during a pursuit or something, but we appreciate you, law enforcement expert that you are. So you've been watching this?
Yeah, I've been watching it for a while now. They've been on mostly every major freeway in L.A. County and the Inland Empire, and then they've circled back to the Norwalk area, and now they're over in the Southgate. One of the things that seems has transpired is law enforcement is totally backed off, including the helicopter also.
So why do you think that is? Because of his erratic driving or safety issues?
Well, in the last few minutes, we have seen some very unsafe U-turns in the middle of intersections, cutting through gas stations, that kind of thing. His speeds don't seem to be that reckless at this point, but he is what they call gutter swiping, meaning he's, passing on the right there. I know the initial pursuit was over a broken taillight, which is basically a fix-it ticket. Mm-hmm. So there must have been maybe a little more information. But I don't, typically law enforcement will back off, at least the ground units, when the pursuit is so dangerous as to endanger the public, the officers, and believe it or not.
Look at this, Bill. He's getting out of the car. He's basically trying to Did you see what he just did?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Very, very erratic behavior here.
Yeah, I don't know what he's thinking. Like, people are just going to leave their keys in the car?
Sometimes
okay.
They leave there you go.
His buddy just dropped off a bag of something. Interesting. Okay, so we know he knows people.
Yeah, it seems to be he's in an area he at least has friendlies with, or I know he's been on the phone quite a bit. So he may be talking to them, saying, hey, we're going to come down this street. Can you meet us there? We need to drop off some loot, some stolen goods, maybe whatever they have in the car, which is illegal. Or they're also looking for friendlies to maybe foot bail and just leave the car.
Yeah, wow. some interesting. Yeah, that's pretty interesting because we've seen them dump a couple things out of the car.
I mean, we have seen it before when they drive around neighborhoods and people come out and give them water, cigarettes.
Jeez.
We've seen it.
Yeah. Interesting. And that's the second time he's tried to get a car, hijack a car, carjack a car.
Yeah, whenever you go into the carjacking, now you're looking at a level 1 or egregious felony, which is a major crime.
Oh, okay. Even just the attempt that we saw would be considered that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, even the attempt, it's basically 215 of the Penal Code, carjacking, and it is a felony punishable by state prison.
Wow. Quite a big difference from having a broken taillight.
Yeah, you
know.
go from a fix-it ticket to prison time, a big difference, as you just said.
Yeah, wow. Pretty amazing. And you're right, Bruce. He hasn't really been. Did I say Bruce? I called you Bill earlier. I'm so sorry. Remember Bill Thomas
Call
used
me
to.
Brucey.
Sorry about that. There's a Bill
Okay,
Thomas
lunch
and a
is
Bruce Thomas.
definitely on you now.
Oh boy.
That's all right. It's an endearing term. I'll take it.
Oh, let's see here. Where is he now? Okay, Clara Street, East Los Angeles still. I don't know. You think that's wise to just back off somebody like this? Is that what you would have done?
You know, as a watch commander and been involved in pursuits and, and been managing or pursuit management, as they call it, I would have canceled it a long time ago. We're chasing, a broken taillight? It's not worth our effort. I mean, maybe it does turn into something else through police work, but ultimately, on face value, it's not worth endangering anybody's life for a broken taillight.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. Wow.
And obviously there's certain factors that you have to give in a pursuit. Every agency may vary a little bit, but all pursuits are basically mandated from POST, the Peace Officer Standard and Training Agency up in Sacramento for the state of California. And we have to give certain factors. What's the reason for the pursuit? What are the speeds, traffic conditions, number of occupants, and what is the crime?
Right. Well, certainly one of the. You kind of just wonder, what is he thinking, and maybe he will get away. It's happened before.
Yeah, there is a percentage of pursuits where the suspects do get away. I want to say it's gone up into maybe the 20 to 30% range. It used to be a lot less. But as law enforcement realizes, weighing the checks and balances of a pursuit, third-party crashes, they kind of backed off on lower-level pursuits now.
And that makes sense. Rather than put the safety of others at risk, that makes sense to me.
No, it does. And, and the most important thing is the general public. Because you're driving along with maybe a minivan full of kids, and this guy slams into you because he ran the intersection at 80 miles an hour. Now you have some serious injuries, fatalities, and it's not a good outcome at all.
Exactly. Yeah. Well, sometimes in these kind of pursuits, you just hope he runs out of gas. Like, let's hope he had like a low tank.
Yeah, I defer to Dave Koontz on that as far as miles, but it seems like every pursuit we have, these cars get great gas mileage,
right?
And they take a licking like no tomorrow.
Yeah, it's almost like a
spike
commercial.
Strips.
Yeah. Exactly.
Oh yeah, spike strips have flattened all four tires. The rims have fallen off. And these cars keep going.
It's amazing. Yeah.
It really is. And the other factor, which I always find fascinating, is they never seem to run into the traffic that you and I have to deal with.
Why is that? I've noticed that too.
I don't sail under a lucky star like that, so I guess these guys do and gals do. I don't know.
No, I consider you the lucky one. I wouldn't want to. You made it through a whole law enforcement career and into your retirement only for us to call you and bother you. But we appreciate
That's
you
all right.
so much.
I stay busy all week, so
I bet you do.
Yeah. anytime, and I always told the younger deputies as I was getting toward the waning years of my career, I said, the whole point of the career is to retire healthy, enjoy your retirement, do whatever your passion is, and if you can get away not being sued, that's a good thing too.
Yes. Well, I'm so glad that you're enjoying your retirement and still keeping your toes in it with us.
Yeah, and other jobs too. So yeah.
Yeah, good for you. Yeah, look at him try to maneuver through this little traffic stop here. That doesn't look like it's going to fit.
Yeah. Look, they're still over in. I'm trying to read
okay,
it. They're still in the East LA area.
Okay, look at that.
That's significant damage there.
Did you see that?
Oh, and he's angry at the other person for not getting out of the way.
And his whole front end came off, that poor guy.
So how does it change, Bruce, now when you have that kind of activity? Because right now, mostly it's just us following. Police have really pulled back. But you see something like that, how does that change what authorities are wanting to do? Because he's clearly agitated at this point.
Yeah, it's definitely gone up a degree or two, as they say. What you have now is you have a hit-and-run misdemeanor, unless the person's hurt. Then it'd be a felony. You could have maybe assault with a deadly weapon, his vehicle on the other party. So you are looking at some higher-level crimes right now. As far as if law enforcement is going to get back involved, I really don't know. I mean, as a watch commander, I'd be like, okay, if you kind of run into it, let's chase it. I would give you a little bit of rope, so to speak, and see what's going on.
Also, the attempted carjacking, charge now. So the guy's...
Yeah.
Well, and in theory, if he is under the influence of any kind, then everything becomes a felony, yes?
That's true. It can be, yes.
Because, I mean...
if there's any bodily injury would make it a felony, yes.
It's flabbergasting to think of yourself as a commuter. Somebody hits you, rips off your front bumper, and then sticks his head out the window, angry at you because you wouldn't get out. Well, there's something else just came off of his vehicle. Angry at you for not getting out of the way.
Yeah, but, anybody involved in a pursuit is not in their right mind anyway.
Exactly.
Good point.
So in this case, this person's agitated, but in reality, now this person's left with a damaged car. Maybe uses the loss of the car for a week or whatever, has to go to work, can't have a way to work now. Things just keep dominoing into the general public is being sucked into this scenario.
And he does not appear to be staying in the same area now. I mean, for a while he was staying on Paramount and Florence and just kind of going back and forth in the same area. But he's on Atlantic and Cecilia and Southgate. So, I mean, I guess to a degree he's back near East LA, but, there's no real way of getting, this is going to be interesting. So no real way to get in front of him and end it.
Yeah, and you do have, if you stay in the Southgate area, you do have Southgate PD. They're a smaller agency with, limited resources. But on the other side, you have the sheriffs over in the Firestone, Florence area from Century Station, and they have plenty of resources. So I would think they would definitely request a helicopter again, maybe, to monitor this.
Yeah, now that things have ramped up a little bit.
Yeah, you definitely have gone from lower level stuff to felony stuff. So I would definitely think that they could, definitely follow it or at least monitor it or do in a surveillance mode of some sort.
Well, how much does it play in, and I don't even know that this does, this is just kind of a question as we watch a numbskull drive around town, that you don't want to set, as law enforcement, a precedent that if you keep driving, we'll eventually leave you alone. I mean, at some point, you want to take this person into custody. So does that at all play into effect?
Yeah, ultimately you want to take bad guys to jail. That's the goal of law enforcement. However, it's got to be done in this case in pursuits safely and with the general public's safety in mind also. So, you go into surveillance mode or tracking mode via helicopter.
Yeah, because at some point, his actions right now are no more safe than the chase, because he has not changed his behavior really with them in track mode. He continues to be dangerous, and you can see that.
Yeah, yeah, he's definitely doing some very unsafe maneuvers, passing on the right. He hit that car, some other stuff. Yeah, there's definitely been a change in this guy's attitude more recently. But, that's why you have a helicopter which can safely monitor a pursuit, or at least the suspect vehicle, without actually into it until that point.
He is highly agitated at this point. When we are able to see
They're
in
high.
that driver's side window, he is gesticulating wildly and bouncing his head back and forth, almost as if he's hitting his head on the steering wheel. He's certainly banging his fists on the steering wheel at times. And that's another thing, too, correct, Bruce? I mean, this doesn't necessarily end when the guy stops driving. I mean, there's all kinds of potential negative outcomes with somebody who's this agitated at the end of a pursuit.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. I mean, just because the vehicle stops doesn't mean the tactical planning for the pursuit ends. Now you have what's called the pursuit terminus, or the end of the pursuit, and is this guy going to come out of the car willingly? Are they going to have to use force? Does it become like a barricaded suspect in the car where you may have to involve a special weapons unit, in this case, Sheriff's SEB, canines, less lethal weaponry? There's a whole slew of other problems that could show up on this.
Well, and this is no joke here in that he's in a parking lot of a retail outlet. I wasn't able to really see what the store was, but it is interesting in that this pandemic has so few people going to retail outlets, which you can see he's driving around in a parking lot, but there are still people there. And all of those people there are at risk when it's a Smart and Final, it looks like. So everybody continues to be at risk with this guy showing the reckless nature that, look at that, the reckless nature that he's shown over the past hour. So, and that's another thing. Sometimes if they had been, I